I love it when the plan comes together. To quote George Peppard, oh yes, Hannibal, everything that we planned and purchased is already, well, budget.
Yeah, there's a couple of things we've still got to wrap up, which we're going to do now.
Is already in said hamper.
The hamper, and I'll show you inside the hamper in a second. And
well done, you, Mummy.
I feel a bit silly because Dan sat down, but the only way that we can both be on the screen,
look,
if I'm stood up, is because look. See, this is what we're like normally. If anybody wonders what the height is, this is our normal day-to-day. I mean, he's ridiculously tall, isn't he? And I'm not sure, I'm 5'6", so anyway.
So I'm here, I'm ready to help.
I feel like it's Blue Peter.
Yes. Here's one.
Have we got, what did they used to make? Toilet roll holders.
Oh, yes. And
pipe cleaners.
Yes.
Oh, and we need to buy some pipe cleaners.
Oh, well remembered.
I still need to buy.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I still need to buy some pipe cleaners for Grandpa Steve to put into the hamper. But here's the hamper, and as you can see, I've started wrapping.
You don't need to spend money on a fancy basket, which just gets used once and then.
No, this was just a cardboard box that an order came to me in from Marks and Spencer's. I ordered a load of candles and stuff, and it came in this stupidly big box. But I thought, well, that's perfect because I can recycle that.
Absolutely.
But I didn't want to give them a box with Marks and Spencer's all over it.
It's not much of a hamper, is it?
Yeah. So I thought I'll wrap it up, and I've done 3 sides. And I thought the most sensible way of doing this was just to sort of do each side in turn. So I've got my last piece of paper. I've got this really cute.
Oh, I love that.
It's got like Santas in hot air balloons and buses.
Where did you get that
from? Sainsbury's, I think.
Oh, superb.
So,
because sometimes paper's a bit naff.
Wrapping paper is, I find sometimes it's a bit of an issue, and because you don't know really until you buy when it's a roll, you don't know what the quality's going to be like until you
We've all had that stuff that when you're actually physically laying it out, it just tears. Yeah.
You know, so I now always spend a little bit more money on wrapping paper because it's not worth buying the stuff that's like 3 rolls for £1.
The hassle.
Because it's just so flimsy that, you know, so this is not bad quality.
Spend a bit more on wrapping paper and save a load of money on a crazy basket.
On recycling, things. So I've got this last piece ready to cover this side, and all I'm doing is I've kind of been putting a bit of tape. In hindsight, I should have actually wrapped up the box before I filled it, because it's now really heavy. And I thought, well, I could take everything out, but I've just been lifting it and shuffling. I'll show you what I mean.
Well, I can lift, I can lift.
Well, I'm just putting bits of tape
on the bottom,
on the end bit, because this is going to sort of tuck underneath. Because I haven't covered the bottom, because who's going to see the bottom? Really, you know, and they're not going to take this paper off. That's not the idea. I'm actually sort of wrapping the box so that all they need to do, what I'll do is I'll put a big ribbon all the way around it. I'll get a big thick probably red ribbon, and I'll just leave the flaps like this, put the flaps down, put the ribbon around just to hold it shut.
Lovely.
And then all they need to do is take the ribbon off and open the box without actually having to the faff of sort of unwrapping the box. So I've put some tape on that bit.
I'd just like to say, I've been apportioned some criticism this advent calendar from my lovely wife. She says I sound like someone on QVC because
Dan loves QVC. He's completely addicted to watching QVC. He's like, oh, what should we buy today? We don't buy, obviously, from it.
It's brilliant.
Don't talk about that thing.
No, we're not going to. We're not going to. There's not enough time.
I did once purchase something from, it wasn't QVC, it was the other one.
Bid Up TV.
Bid Up TV.
Stupendous.
Yeah.
Nearly. Brilliant the other day. We were watching it. Bryony goes into hysterics because something comes on and it said options, grey.
Yeah. Oh, and the things that they sell. Honestly.
Oh, it's terrible.
Anyway.
A cheap plastic scraper.
We've all watched QVC, haven't we?
A cheap plastic scraper that is the only answer for when your car is frozen.
Yeah. Because he said that what people do is get their credit cards out and scrape their windscreens.
I'm 43 years old and I've never done that.
I've never done that. I've got one of those little handheld scrapers that costs like £3.
In the days of tapes, I've taken a tape out, got the box, and used that as a scraper.
Yeah.
Very good they are, but no more tapes.
Right, so I've got this last piece of paper, and what I'm going to do is I've got tape now on this bit, and I'm going to just shuffle the box over on top of the tape.
No.
Now you're here, you can actually
shuffle it.
Just hold the paper.
Yeah, nice and flat.
And then I'm just going to place it so that it's underneath. All right, move your fingers.
You see, now the weight is useful because that's going to stick.
That's going to stick the tape now to that side.
Yeah.
And then this piece is just going to come up.
Oh, look at that. Can I help?
In a second.
Okay.
And then you need to fold that flap down, because if you do it when it's like that and then fold it over, you won't be able to shut it because you need a bit more space.
Yes.
So fold it over like that and just get that bit there, and then we need some tape, and then you can move it back, and then just tape it in there. And I've cut this side a bit big, but we'll tape that over because they're not going to look at this in great detail, are they? They'll just see a big box.
But it's good tape though. This it's like that clear stuff that you can't see.
I love this tape. We used to call this type of sellotape when I worked in the bank. We used to call it miracle tape. And it's the sort that you can write on, and that's what we used it for security documents. We used to put the tape on, and then you could write on top of the tape.
But also, when you put it on a present, it disappears.
You can't see it. Yeah, it
is a miracle.
It's called magic tape, I think. It's Scotch. It's made by Scotch.
Right.
I think they call it magic tape. I just really like this sort of.
Hold on.
I am taping down the lady, right? So hang on. We need to cut that a little bit.
Yes.
Because I didn't measure this right, did I?
We need trimmage.
So let's just make a little snip there. And I feel like this might be a bit of a botch job, but then again, I think maybe not.
What is a botch job?
Putting this paper around the box, could I have done it a bit more professionally? But then, probably not actually, because it's such an awkward thing, isn't it? All I wanted to do was cover up the brown box, basically, and I think I've done that. And I think they will just see that box and won't think. Well, you think that I know there's a bit of brown there. Shush! Look!
Seriously, they're not going to see that. They're not going to be bothered about that.
But you can see that now. See, he's being critical of me.
I never said a word. I just smiled.
Yeah, well, that's all you need to do. Is it any wonder I have a complex about
I won't smile.
Being rubbish at everything?
No, that's a deep-rooted childhood problem, Kay. That's got nothing to do with me.
So look, I think that's okay.
It is. It's perfect.
With a big ribbon around it, and then they'll go, oh!
And the plates are in, are they?
The plates are in there. Down at the bottom, I've used a different tissue paper for that. That's got a sheep on actually, but I only had one piece of that, so I thought I'll do that for the joint present. So I've just got a couple of things left. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. I've just got a couple of things left for Grandpa Steve, plus I need to get in those pipe cleaners.
Yes.
We got in the Bohemian Rhapsody.
22 tracks of absolute
CD,
wonderfulness.
Which is all we've listened to, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the past few weeks.
It's brilliant.
It's literally all we've listened to. And if you're interested, track 4 is my favourite. And what's your favourite?
It's
6.
Track 6. Yeah.
So Dan's favourite is Fat Bottomed Girls. I'm saying nothing. And my favourite is Keep Yourself Alive. So we need to wrap those up. So I've got a bit more of the tissue paper. I'm hoping I've got enough. Because I've got that, and then I've also got a Sudoku book, because Grandpa Steve is
He's a fiend.
He's a fiend. He sits there for hours. He was an accountant. He's retired now. Not that long ago, actually. What's that? He retired.
A year and a half.
Is it really that long?
Yeah.
Gosh. So he's a numbers man, and he loves Sudoku.
Always has.
Always has. So we've got some tissue paper. I thought I'd use tissue paper instead of wrapping paper because it's just a bit, I don't know, a bit more
fun.
Yeah, and it's softer, isn't it? It's not as hard. That sounds stupid now I say it,
but sound stupid.
It's just a softer sort of material.
Yeah.
I thought it would go in a box better.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just concerned about what you're about to do. What are you going to do now? That's the outside thing.
Maybe I've wrapped all of these up the wrong way. No, that says, they say ho-ho.
Right. So we're fine.
The environment. I'm conscious of the environment with regards to things like ribbons and, you know, curly ribbon and things like that, because it's all plastics, isn't it? And I just thought, no, I'm just going to stick to tissue paper, because that's going to be easily biodegradable. They can just throw it on their wood burner, all of the tissue paper, can't they, and it'll be fine. So all I'm going to do is just simply wrap it up. I was teaching Bryony to wrap, wasn't I, the other day?
Yeah, she went,
because
they call it the remainder, it's the number that remains.
They've just done they're doing a Secret Santa at school. They had to do a Secret Santa and they were only allowed to spend £5, which you just went, oh, why is it only £5? What can you get for £5 these days? But I think that was the point, that it made it more of a challenge to find a gift for under £5.
With regret, I'm not certain how many of the people would see it as a challenge and go and actually try and find something good.
No, you see, this is the problem. I mean, heaven knows what Bryony will get. But the person that she got is one of her friends, and she knew that she liked horses and Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So that was our remit, horses and Doctor Who. And we went into, I don't know if you would call it a bookshop, actually. It's called The Works. Anybody in the UK will know what type of shop it is. They sell books. It's a discount sort of shop. Lots of books. They have craft things, all sorts of stuff like that. And we went in there and we found a calendar for next year, obviously, that was horses. It was all horses, and it was a calendar and a notebook with horses on. It was £3 instead of 12, I think it should have been. Bryony was like all over that. So we did very well in that challenge. And then
the reason why Kay stipulated quite firmly that it was a calendar for next year was because last Christmas she bought someone a calendar for the year before.
I did.
Needless to say, we replaced it with one for the year after.
I forgot about that, actually. And then with regards to labels, I really like just the stick-on ones, because I find they're quick, they're simple, and also you don't have the faff of them possibly getting torn off.
Oh yeah, that's always a nightmare. How often does that happen at Christmas, where all the labels come off and you're like left with all these presents, you don't know whose.
Yeah.
So you just like open them up, and then the person who potentially it's for loses the enjoyment of opening up their present.
Yeah. So I'm a sticky label girl all the way.
So the hamper that we planned on day 4. Today, it's all come together. Oh my goodness, we've been out shopping and we've got things.
Yeah,
and it's been, literally, I know you don't like to use that word, it's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
Because it has.
And I hope they like it.
So do I.
Because they do get hampers sometimes, don't they, from your brothers?
No. You see, where I come from, a hamper is not something which you phone someone up or go on the internet and buy a pre-made hamper. A hamper is something where you have personally selected all the gifts that are inside it for a reason.
And that's what we've done. But you can't you, go online to places like, I think they had one from Fortnum and Mason's.
Load of shoddy biscuits, some rubbishy
Whittard's.
jam.
We got one from them one year from Whittard's. It was Whittard's tea and coffee, and I don't think there was one thing in it that we actually liked.
No. So a proper hamper, and I think, the giving of a proper hamper is a dying art, because so many people, because of these places which just, we'll do it all for you. Actually,
and it takes a lot of thought and time and effort
absolutely.
to do.
Well, they know, because they've been with us every step of the way.
It does, and this is not something we do every year for them, obviously. This is special because we're going to see them, and we could never post this. Can you imagine?
No, that would be...
To cost like £500 or something.
It'd be a DHL job.
It would be a DHL job, yeah, which just defeats the purpose, really, because you don't want to spend tons of money on postage, do you?
No. So, we have wrapped our hamper.
Yes.
And that must mean we're getting near to the end of the Advent calendar.
Getting very close.
But don't worry, because there's still some days to go. And we're coming up on one of the greatest filming days we've ever had in our lives. So there's still lots to look forward to.
It's really special.
Whatever you're doing today, have a great day. And we will see you tomorrow for more fun.